One Piece, Chapter 7, Friends.
Well, hello again, brothers and sisters of the nation, Jim's Nerd Nation. I, of course, am Jim, your friendly neighborhood manga reviewer, and I'm here to review One Piece, Chapter 7. Now, anybody who saw my review on Chapter 6, it was pretty much non-stop, front to back, start to finish, and we were left with the great Captain Morgan being knocked on his ass, and ultimately this tyrannical person being defeated. So the chapter starts out where, everybody's kind of standing around in disbelief that Captain Morgan, old Axe Hand Morgan, has been defeated by our great hero Zoro, and everybody starts cheering. And I mean, the Navy, officers start cheering and saying, "Oh my God, thank you," So it just shows how one evil person can oppress and destroy the livelihood and the people in an entire town. So anyway, it winds up kind of starting off where, Zoro and Luffy and Kobe, who were these outcasts, these, looked upon as these bad people, you find out that it was really only because of the influence of Captain Morgan and his moronic son. So at any rate, the next several pages take us to the little girl who had made the rice balls for Zoro because he had gotten thrown in the slammer to begin with for defending her against Helmeppo's mean dogs. Anyway, this little girl's mother brings them into her home, and feeds them. And of course, Zoro actually prior to that had just kind of collapsed. And then you see him in the next panel, and he's okay. He's eating, and he's going, "Oh my God, I can't believe how hungry I was after not eating for 9 days." So, at any rate, there's a little bit of banter and a little talking about going on as far as where they're going to go now. And Luffy announces that to find the One Piece, their next destination is going to be the Grand Line. Now, I really don't know a lot about the Grand Line, except for that it was something that was mentioned to me last week when I was on Everything One Piece's channel for his Clueless About One Piece episode. So I do remember that being mentioned, and I'm assuming that this is an area of the world that that is certainly infested with pirates, and that we're going to hear much, much more of. So Coby thinks they're crazy. He thinks that it's nuts to go there, especially with just two of them. Zoro says, "Hey, it doesn't matter because you're not coming with us anyway." Of course, his dream is to be in the Navy, blah, blah, blah. So at that point, then the naval lieutenant, I guess that's taken over as the interim, leader on the island or on the town there, kind of comes in and knocks on the door and says, "Hey, listen, we really appreciate what you did, dethroning the captain, the evil captain from power. But ultimately, I mean, you're pirates, and we have to treat you as such. Now, as a favor to you, we're not going to report you to the Navy like we should, but we are going to have to ask you to leave." So, they kind of suck it up and say, "Okay, great, that's fine." They go to say their goodbyes to Coby, and the problem with that is that Coby has been lumped in, and because he's with them, he is assumed to be by the Navy a pirate as well. So the next few panels are pretty nice because it winds up being Kobe's trying to talk himself out of a corner and say, "No, I'm not with them, I don't know them." And what happens is Luffy, who's actually pretty sharp, he winds up kind of making a little self-sacrifice. He starts talking to them and starts explaining his background and everything else, because Zoro has said, to Coby, you have to be very careful about the Navy. I mean, they're going to do a background check, and if they do, they'll find out that you were a cabin boy for this pirate, that Elvita. And so at any rate, he's of course scared about that and has that in the back of his mind. All the while Luffy is talking, he starts to reveal, what he's been doing and everything else, and he really lures Coby, who's a very calm sort of, he's really kind of a soft character. He's a character that doesn't really, takes a lot to antagonize him. And what he does is he pushes his buttons, and he does it in a way that he knows will wind up inciting, getting a rise out of him. And ultimately, he does get a rise out of Coby. Coby goes and just socks him right in the face. Him and Luffy start beating the crap out of each other for a few panels or a few minutes. And anyway, one of the officers winds up saying, whoa, break it up. Just, okay, we get it. He's not with you. You're not friends. Get the hell out of here, So Zoro and Luffy go to be on their way. There was also a pretty important moment a few pages prior to that where Koby is talking about how he's going to be separate from them and he's not coming with them. But he doesn't really have any friends, and it's kind of nice because Luffy says, listen, we'll meet again eventually, but we'll always be friends, even though we're going our separate ways. So I thought that was kind of touching for someone, especially like Koby, who doesn't think much of himself, doesn't, have many friends. So at any rate, they go on their way, and Koby is now pleading his case to the lieutenant, saying, hey, I want to be a great officer in the Navy. Just start me out wherever you want. I'll be a cabin boy. I'll, clean the shitters, whatever, right? And the lieutenant goes and says, hey, listen, I don't think so. I mean, pirates have been known to plant spies in. We can't trust you, blah, blah, blah. So Koby goes, and you kind of see his dark side again, man. He flips out, and he says, I'm not a pirate, damn it, And anyway, a couple panels later, the captain, or the lieutenant, I'm sorry, obviously believes him and takes him at his word and says, okay, well, welcome to the Navy then, So it was absolutely, like I said, a kind of a neat thing, and I certainly thought it was, it was pretty good, at least from my perspective and my point of view. So, but at any rate, then we wind up going to, getting towards the end of the chapter over here. We have Zoro and Luffy speaking amongst themselves, talking about where they're going. And I thought it was also kind of funny because Luffy goes and says, okay, well, we better get going now. We pissed everybody off in town, or everybody hates us in town. And Zoro says, well, that's how it should be if you're a pirate. You leave once you piss everybody off in town. Everybody's angry at you. So as they're about to leave, Koby comes running down, running down the hill, and says, hey, thank you, Captain Luffy. And he salutes him, And that's a big thing, too, because, and even Zoro mentions, he goes, that's probably the first time someone from the Navy ever saluted a pirate. Because pirates are not recognized with any type of rank. Even if there's a captain of the ship, pirates are, they're criminals, brigands, whatever you want to call them. So that's how they're normally treated. So anyway, then all of a sudden you see all the naval officers that were obviously saved by Luffy and Zoro's actions from the evil Captain Morgan, and they all go and pop up a salute as well, And then one of the officers even goes and comments and says, yeah, that's against regulations to salute a pirate, and as punishment we're gonna not have dinner for a week or whatever. And everybody says, okay, aye, aye, sir, So I thought it was pretty cool. All in all, as I said, I'm getting deeper into the chapters and the whole mythology of it, and I think it's really neat and profound because I've even seen in some of your comments some of the things that are set. They set the stage now for something that's going to be revealed or tied up or come back in chapter 300 or 400 or whatever the case may be, and I think that's a mark of great writing. I have always been a big fan of not just comic books, but actual written word, too, novels. I used to love reading Stephen King's books, and if anybody has never checked out the Dark Tower series, it's a series of 8 books, actually 9 because there's a spin-off now. But at any rate, it's just this great, he ties all of his work together into this wonderful, wonderful story, and it's the same type of thing that, 2,000 pages in, they're referencing things that were introduced 30 pages in, in the first novel. So I can really appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well. Please leave some comments down below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the review, and we will be sure to catch you in the next one, which is actually going to be Chapter 8, and will be the end of Volume 1. So see you guys then.
Once again, thank you, brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I really hope you enjoyed the review, and if you did, make sure to click that like button or subscribe, spread the word, bring others into the nation. That's what it's all about. Also, we have a couple of the previous chapters there on the left and right, so check those out if you haven't already. We'll see you in the next one.